This is the story of Beauty and the Beast. Once upon a time, in a far-off country, there lived a rich merchant who had 3 daughters. They lived in a large mansion in wealth and without worry. But one day, by enormous misfortune, the merchant was brutally met with great losses, and the family, suddenly finding themselves penniless, fled to a small country cottage. The man and his daughters were forced to work like peasants to earn their keep. 2 of the sisters, who could only sit and remember their former life, cried and grumbled constantly. But Beauty, the youngest sister, worked on bravely and tried to comfort her father. Eventually, time did pass, and there came a day where wonderful news came to the merchant's attention. One of his former ships, which was thought to have been lost at sea, had miraculously arrived in port. Hoping to restore his fortune, the merchant decided to ride out immediately to meet the ship. Before leaving, he called out for his 3 daughters and asked them each in turn what they missed most from their former life, as he wanted to bring them each back a gift. The first sister asked for rich gowns, since her closet was now only filled with rags. The second asked for a coach and 4 horses, since she was now forced to ride upon a donkey. But Beauty asked only for a rose, since the garden was now filled only with cabbages. Upon reaching the ship, the merchant found the cargo spoiled and worthless. Now poorer than ever, he couldn't even afford a night's lodging, and thus was forced to return home through the dark, threatening weather. He pushed his way deeper and deeper through the gloomy forest, until he was hopelessly lost in the snow. Just when he felt he might collapse from exhaustion, he saw an avenue of orange trees untouched by the snow, and beyond them a grand castle. As the merchant approached, the doors opened up before him. Inside, he found himself in a great hall with a blazing fire and a sumptuous meal prepared. Strangely, there was no one in sight. So he thought it wise to dine on the feast, and soon had eaten so much that he fell asleep in his chair. The next morning, the merchant awoke to find his wet clothes replaced with fine garments. But again, he saw no one. And when he stepped outside to go home, he was met with another kindness. A magnificent horse stood waiting for him. Just as he was about to mount and be on his way, the merchant spied a bed of beautiful red roses. Remembering his promise to Beauty, he knelt to pluck one. No sooner had the stem snapped than the merchant heard a dreadful angry roar. Turning around, he saw a fearsome beast looming over him.
"How dare you steal my roses?"
bellowed the beast.
"You shall pay for your ingratitude with your life."
The terrified merchant fell to his knees. "Please, forgive me. I have taken this rose only as a gift for one of my daughters," he pleaded. Hearing this, the beast stopped to reconsider. At last he growled,
"I will spare your life, but only if one of your daughters willingly returns in your stead. You seem like an honest man, so I will trust you to go home, and I give you 7 days. If one of them does not come, You must come alone after bidding them goodbye forever, for then you will belong to me. And do not imagine that you can hide away from me, for if you fail to keep your word, I will come and find you,"
added the beast grimly. Anxious to escape from the presence of the beast, he promised to return within 7 days. After the merchant gave Beauty the rose, he told the story of the grim beast and his cruel punishment. But Beauty would not hear of her father's return to the palace. After all, he would never have plucked the rose if it weren't for her. She made up her mind to go at once in his place, and so strong was her resolve that the merchant could not dissuade her. After the 7 days, the brave Beauty rode to the beast's castle. There she waited, terrified of what would come to pass. She was terrified when she eventually saw the beast, and she spent many days alone with her heart filled with fear and sadness. The beast tried to comfort Beauty, but realized that it was no use, for even when he saw his reflection, he was startled. However, as the days turned into months, Beauty started seeing a different side to the beast. She eventually started talking to him, and over the period of many days, she began to become quite fond of him. Any fear of the beast had vanished, and when she saw his kind heart, she realized he couldn't help the way he looked. The growth of their friendship made the whole castle alive with laughter, happiness, and love. One night, Beauty had a disturbing dream. She dreamt that her father fell gravely ill, and that he had no one to nurse him back to health. She told the beast of her reverie, and at that, he showed her an image of her sick father in a large magical mirror. When Beauty saw this image, she realized her dream had indeed come to pass, and she asked the beast to let her leave the castle to help her father regain his health. The beast gave his consent with a heavy heart, for he knew that Beauty might never come back. But he told her that if she does not return within 7 days, he shall die. For his love for her had grown so strong that he couldn't bear to live without her for very long. She comforted the beast and gave her word that she will indeed return within 7 days, and at that she mounted her horse and rode away as fast as she could to see her father. However, when she arrived, she found that she was only in time to say her last goodbye to her dying father. She was too late. Beauty was heartbroken. Days had passed and the 3 sisters mourned for their father. Beauty was so busy looking after her sisters that she had not realized how time had flown by. And on the morning of the 8th day, she was suddenly struck with fear and panic as she remembered her promise to the beast. She raced as fast as she could, but when she arrived, the castle, which was once alive with flowery summer gardens, now was filled with hovering black clouds and icy dead bushes. Then she saw the beast lying motionless in the snow. Beauty rushed over to him, shedding tears of grief onto his frozen corpse. "Please, beast, I'm so sorry I broke my promise. Don't die. I love you." Her tears of love then transformed the beast into a handsome prince, and the rest of the castle became beautiful once again. Her love for the beast, despite his hideous appearance, had broken a magic spell, and at that the castle rejoiced, and the 2 were married at once. And of course, they lived happily ever after.